Gangway, I am here. I'm here. And I'm special. Move it, bub. Whoa. Nice.
Whoa! I am the greatest! Oh, yes! Who's the best? Well, Rex. How about an 8x10 glossy? Just call me Mr. Beautiful. Hey, you guys, check it out. Looky. I'm so much better than you. I am number one. Numero uno. The big sequoia. The big leaf, top trunk. Oh, you tree, you. Sometimes I just amaze myself.
He was the straightest
Straight as an arrow.
and sturdiest tree in the whole forest.
Sturdy as a Roman soldier.
Oh, but he was proud. Too proud.
Proud? Moi? Whoa, don't you just love it? Hey, how about some room here? Little crooked there, willow breath. Check it out. I bet they'd love to be just like me. Oh, you green, luscious, beautiful tree, you. They're so jealous their leaves are green. Get it? Green? I'm as witty as I am charming. I wish I had a mirror. It's so tough being me.
Oh, brother!
All the other trees grew tired of his constant bragging. They named him Rex, which means king, because he always acted and talked as if he were the king of all the forest.
My beauty's branching out all over. I bet you think I dye my roots. Oh, you perfect thing, you. Hey, bird, get off. You have any idea whose branches you're on? Shoo, scram, depart, beat it, go away, dumb bird. Ooh, how I love me.
Can you believe this guy?
Every morning at dawn and each evening at sunset, the trees of the forest would raise their branches in praise and thanks to God, their creator. But not Rex. Rex was usually too busy, admiring his own green leafy branches as they glistened in the morning sun or waved in the evening breeze.
Sometimes I just can't stand it. It almost hurts being so beautiful, so perfect, so me. Ooh. Well, kiss. Oh, you beautiful tree, you. Boy, it's some view from way up here. Ooh. Oh, what stunning, luxurious branches. Check out this bark, will you? I ask you, what's not to love here? You know, I ought to be on top of a hill all by myself.
One day, some Roman soldiers from Jerusalem came riding through the forest. As they passed each tree, they would stop and look the tree over carefully.
Too small.
Nope, too crooked.
Too thin.
How about this one?
Meh.
Then they came to a stop in front of Rex. Rex straightened his trunk and waved his powerful branches in the breeze.
I wonder what they want. This tree will be perfect for the king.
Yeah, for the king. Just right.
Why are they laughing?
The king? What king? Wait a minute. The king! Ha! The king! Did you hear that? The king! Can you believe it? The king wants little old me. Oh, I hope I don't blush. Oh, I'm just speechless.
The soldiers circled Rex, feeling his rough bark, measuring his height, and nodding their heads.
Yeah, he'll do.
Yeah, he'll do just fine.
Well, no doubt about it. I must be the greatest tree in the forest. The land. The whole world. The universe. I hope all those other trees are watching. Hear that, you guys? trees for the king! Oh, maybe the king wants my beautiful green leafy branches for shade after his long trips from Rome. Just imagine. Or maybe he's gonna plant me right in the middle of the palace garden for every one of his subjects to admire. That's it. Yep. No, wait. I'll bet people from all over the world will come just to see me. Kings, pharaohs, rulers from faraway lands. Oh.
Rex could almost see himself in the royal garden, with rare and colorful birds nesting in his topmost branches. Rex was excited. The very thought of being the king's tree made him tremble all over. But no, it was not from excitement that Rex was trembling. It was the soldiers. Rex could feel the powerful blows of the soldiers' axes against his trunk.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Cut that out! Stop! Hey! You can't do this to me! I'll die if you cut me down. Don't you know who I am? I'm Rex, the king of all the forest. Do you hear me? Stop this minute! I command you! I'm not kidding you guys! Hey!
It was too late. Rex laid on the ground, his lovely branches spread out on the forest floor. They would never wave in the breeze again. He had been cut away forever from the roots that gave him life.
Ooh, boy, that's smart.
No tree can live long without his roots. Rex would be dead in 3 days. The soldiers cut Rex's trunk into 2 parts. A sharp pole cut from his top laid beside him. They stripped away his branches and leaves and trimmed off his bark. The next thing Rex knew, both parts of his trunk were being chained to the soldiers' horses. They dragged him over bumps and rocks and through creeks.
Ouch! Ow! Oh, this is
all the way to Jerusalem. When they finally came to a stop, they were in some sort of courtyard. Workmen came along then and cut notches at each part of Rex's trunk. They fitted them together and tied them firmly in place.
Well, at least I'm all in one piece again, I think.
Rex looked up at the sun. It was high in the sky, and Rex knew it was late morning.
Hey, I can see my shadow on the courtyard wall. They've shaped me into some kind of a sign. A great surprise for the king, I'll bet. Yeah, that's it. Well, this could be interesting.
Rex knew that something very special was about to happen. He could feel it in his trunk. Through the open courtyard gates, Rex could see people lining up along the side of the road.
This must be a very important event. And just think, I'm to be a part of it. It's too bad the other trees can't see me now, boy. Would they be jealous or what?
Rex was almost glowing with his pride by now. He kept wondering when the king would come. Suddenly, there was a great commotion in the courtyard. A man, wearing a crown of long, sharp thorns, was being pushed roughly into the yard by the soldiers. Blood trickled down the man's face and into his long hair. He had whip marks all over his body.
I wonder what this man could possibly have done that would make people treat him so badly. He looks so weak and beaten. Yet there's a regal look on his face, as if he were a king. Oh, no. This couldn't be the king the soldiers were talking about. It couldn't be. Who would treat a king like this?
The soldiers were leading the man over to Rex. They grabbed Rex's trunk and laid it across the bleeding back of the man with the crown of thorns.
Oh, okay. Careful now. I'm not used to this. Easy.
Rex felt himself being lifted. Gently, almost lovingly. Slowly the man began to carry Rex. They walked out of the courtyard, right down the street lined with people. They headed toward a hill in the distance. It seemed such a long way to Rex.
Ha! Look at him now.
Some king.
Why, he doesn't look much like a king.
3 times the man fell before the soldiers finally grabbed someone from the crowd to help him.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Help him!
Well, it's about time. It took 2 horses to get me here, and they expect this man to carry me all the way up this hill alone?
At the top of the hill, there were 2 other trees shaped just like Rex.
Lay the cross down here. This cross will go in the middle.
Cross? So that's what they made of me. This is a strange ceremony. Well, I'll be going in the middle. That means I'm at least the star attraction.
Doesn't he ever give up?
All the people who had lined the side of the road were beginning to gather at the top of the hill. The soldiers were tearing off the clothes of the man with the crown. The people were screaming at him. Suddenly, Rex felt more frightened than he had ever felt before.
Well, this isn't a very nice ceremony. I'm beginning to wish I weren't a part of it. I've never seen eyes like this man's. They're so gentle and kind. Soft, but so very, very sad.
Rex remembered how good it had felt to be carried by this man. After the cruel treatment the proud tree had received at the hands of the soldiers, being lifted onto those powerful shoulders had been like going back home to the forest, comfortable and warm.
How strange. He doesn't even seem angry at what these soldiers have done to him.
Rex's wondering was jolted by the sound of metal against metal. What were the soldiers doing now? Suddenly he realized they were nailing the man's hands and feet to Rex's trunk. Rex could hardly believe this was happening. The man's warm blood ran from his wounds, soaking Rex's trunk. Rex felt sick. The soldiers nailed a sign above the man's head. Then they raised Rex and the man upright. They planted Rex firmly between the other 2 crosses.
What does the sign say?
The answer startled Rex. The other trees whispered. The sign says, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Rex didn't have time to think. The crowd was getting loud and noisy. They shouted at Jesus and mocked him.
If you're God, come down off the cross.
He can save others, but he can't save himself.
Some king. Where's your army?
Son of God, where's your father now?
God? This can't be God. Look at what he has let them do to him. I can feel him struggling. His muscles twitch and cramp with the pain from his wounds. My trunk is soaked with his blood. I can hear him gasp when the pain gets bad. How can he be God? God's a spirit, isn't he?
As if in answer to his wondering, Rex heard Jesus speak. What he said sent shivers up and down Rex's trunk.
Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing.
Don't know what they're doing? Forgive them? Is the pain making you crazy? Nobody forgives people like this. Even trees don't forgive such terrible cruelty. All creation knows we have to hate our enemies, especially when they beat us and put us to death.
Rex kept trying to reason with Jesus. After all, the man on the cross had every reason in the world to be angry.
Listen, nobody ever forgives people like this. Nobody, of course, except maybe God.
Rex realized who this man was. He began to feel weak.
Who? Who did he call Father? I've heard talk of a Father in heaven and a Son. Could this really be God? He's touching me. He carried me. He's nailed to me. Why would God want to be so close to me? I really haven't been a very nice tree. To be honest, I'm probably the worst of all the trees in the forest. There are other far better trees that you could be nailed to. Why me, Jesus? Why me of all the good and loyal trees? I'm sorry that I've never been a tree your father could be proud to say he created. I'm really, really sorry.
Sap ran from all parts of Rex's trunk. It coated the ground and mingled with the blood streaming from the wounds of Jesus. Rex heard Jesus speak once more. His voice sounded far away.
Father, into your hands I entrust my spirit.
Then Rex felt the body of Jesus sag in a dead weight. A powerful sadness filled Rex's heart. The crowd was restless and fearful. They kept looking up at the sky, then at each other, and then at Jesus. One by one, people began to drift away. Rex watched the crowd disappear, robes pulled up over their heads. He thought they looked like thieves running from the scene of a crime. The violent wind pushed at their backs. A torrent of rain soaked through their clothing. And then the crowd was gone. Rex saw two silent figures below the cross. There was a woman Jesus had called Mother. Beside her was the young man who had been his friend. Rex shook his trunk ever so gently.
Jesus? Jesus? Wake up. Wake up, Jesus. I said I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, Jesus, forgive me too. Don't die.
The figure on the cross remained absolutely silent.
How can this be? You're God. God can't die.
There's an old story about trees that are dying. The story goes like this. If a dying tree tells God he is sorry for bad things he has done, if he wishes he had been better, God will give him new life from one of the tree's own seeds. Rex knew that he had been proud and ungrateful all his life. He wanted Jesus to hear how sorry he was. But Jesus was silent now.
He can't hear me. I've lost my chance to have new life.
Rex wanted God to know that he was grateful for the honor of being chosen for this day.
I just wanted to thank God for coming so close to me. I wanted to raise my branches in praise of his goodness. Oh, but I can't do that now. I have no branches left. I'm naked and alone. It's too late.
Rex turned very pale. It was indeed too late. The centurion had just stabbed Jesus in the side with a long lance. Blood and water ran from the wound. Jesus was dead. Rex remembered the story about dying trees. It is said that a tree hears music just before he dies. If the music is sad and very depressing, the tree will never have new life. But if the music is like angels singing praise to God, like an alleluia, the tree will have a new growth grander than the first.
I wish Jesus could have heard me before he died. If only he'd known how much I loved him, how sorry I am for being proud. I never gave a thought to the needs of others. I wanted everything for myself. I thought I was the best, the first. I thought I was a self-made tree. If only I had thanked my Creator. If only I had loved my neighbor. I should have told Jesus sooner.
But Jesus was gone now. His friends had come and carried his body away. The trees had watched them go. The wind voices told Rex that Jesus had been buried in a borrowed tomb carved out of rock. Guards were posted outside the entrance to make sure Jesus stayed inside.
That's pretty silly. Where could a dead person go?
As he stood waiting for the music of his own death, Rex's sap continued to coat the ground. He kept thinking about how Jesus had been so cruelly treated. Rex found himself praying. He asked God the Father to take good care of Jesus. The Son of God had suffered so much, and yet he had forgiven those who hated him. Rex didn't feel like hating anymore either.
If I could have new growth, I would try to live and love others the way Jesus did.
It was almost sunup the day after the Sabbath. Rex was very tired. He was ready to accept whatever God had planned for him. It was all up to his Creator now. Rex listened. He thought he heard music, but it was so quiet he could barely make it out. The frightening storm of 2 days before had calmed down now. Rex looked weakly at the sky. It was almost dawn. The wind voices were very faint, almost as still as sleep. A soft breeze began to blow. It was a different kind of breeze, warm and gentle. Gradually, Rex became aware of a sound like tiny, high flutes. The song grew nearer and nearer. Rex's last drop of sap began its journey to the ground. He was caught up in the beautiful sound of the music. He almost forgot he was dying. A few flutes swelled into thousands. Their musical trilling danced around Rex. They surrounded him with their joyous Alleluia. The animals that had kept watch hung their heads as the last drop of sap flowed to the ground and disappeared. Rex was dead. It was the smallest chipmunk who first saw the sapling. Tiny and green, a newborn tree was growing where Rex's sap had mingled with the blood of Christ. Small branches and tender leaves reached toward the sun in wonder at the gift of new life.
Ooh, thank you, Jesus.